Hello. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming to this panel discussion. We are discuss about MicroProfile and Jakarta EE, the current status and the future. So this is going to be interactive, but to start with, we are going to do a quick intro about what's kind of coming up in the near future, and then we'll open the floor for questions. Please prepare your questions. Well, we are doing first probably a few minutes quick recap. I'm Emily Jiang. I work for IBM. I'm a Liberty Cloud Native architect and advocate. So I'm involved in both Jakarta EE and MicroProfile. So I spend most of the time on these standard specifications, and I also work on Open Liberty, lead the implementations for the MicroProfile and Jakarta EE. Join me is
My name is Ivar Grimstad. I'm the Jakarta EE developer at Eclipse Foundation. So I work mostly with Jakarta EE, and the reason I'm here today is that I can pick Emily's brain on what's going on in MicroProfile. So if we start with Jakarta EE, the current release out there is Jakarta EE 10. It was released in September last year, so it's about 1 year old. I think the release is a pretty good success because it shows that people are actually moving to 10, just passing 9 and getting to 10, using 9 as the upgrade mechanism for the next phase change and moving to 10, and that's what we wanted. And Jakarta 10 had a lot of updates in a lot of specifications. The blue ones here are the ones that were updated for this release. And oh, there's the sound. As you see, most of them were updated. Some of them weren't, the gray ones. That doesn't mean that they're not updated in later releases. And we had one orange down in the corner, which means this was a new release, or new specification for this release. And I'll get back to that in a couple of slides. So Jakarta EE 11, if you compare that to 10, you can see it's sort of it's the same kind of specifications. We've removed one and added one. And the one we removed is the managed beans, which you can see here on the third column. That one is taken away in 11, and we've replaced it with Jakarta data. So a lot of the same specifications that received updates in 10 also received updates in 11. And there are some that we aren't updating in this release as well, which is fine. And Jakarta data is a brand new specification in Jakarta 11. And a subset of the Jakarta EE platform is the Jakarta EE web profile. So it's a direct subset. We just remove some of the more enterprise-y flavored specifications. And these are specifications more targeted traditional web applications. And in 10, we introduced the core profile. And the core profile is meant for more microservice architecture applications, or headless services, if you like. And this is where the CDI Lite comes in. And the CDI Lite is a subset of the CDI specification, which kind of removes the dynamic feature of CDI, and so you can resolve them at build time and compile to native images if that's what you want. One big update we're doing with 11 is that we're setting the source level to Java 21. And this is kind of a big step because the previous one was 11. So we moved from 11 to 21 directly, and that will force everybody that consumes our APIs to also move to 21. So we're kind of the first in the industry doing this push forward. And you will see when Spring wants to, for example, wants to pick up the Jakarta 11 APIs, they will be forced up to 21. So we're kind of setting a standard as well. Let's see how this goes. With that, I also want to remind you that later this afternoon at 2:45, I have a session called Prepare for Jakarta 11, where I go into detail about this release. And with that, we want to hear about MicroProfile.
Yeah, thank you, Ivar. So it's I am very excited for Jakarta EE 11 now. Let's have a look at what's coming up on MicroProfile. One thing I want to emphasize again, Jakarta EE and MicroProfile hand in hand. Really, I think they need each other to for cloud native. application developers. So MicroProfile has been busy doing releases, and actually last week is 12th October, we released MicroProfile 6.1. So this is still hot from oven. So this is MicroProfile 6.1. So in MicroProfile 6.1, we have the update from telemetry and also the metrics and config. So this is kind of the in 6.1. It's a meta release. So this is there's no backward incompatible changes from the MicroProfile 6.0. It's still like a package, Jakarta EE 10 core profile. So it's when you use MicroProfile, and you automatically use Jakarta EE 10 core profile when you use the 6 and the 6.1. So the next release going to be a bigger release. So that's the kind of we prepare for the next year, 2Q next year. So it's the release. So that will be first will be rework MicroProfile telemetry. So currently this telemetry has tracing, but in the next release we are going to embrace open telemetry, metrics, and logging. So the whole 3 pillars of observability will be reviewed by MicroProfile telemetry. And also this is GWT authentication. I have some a change. And also this is like a fault tolerance integration, previously integration with metrics. Now metrics will be moved away, so fault tolerance will need to do integration with the telemetry for the metrics work. So the other bigger thing is kind of in 6 and 6.0, and also previous MicroProfile releases, always package Jakarta EE APIs or Jakarta EE 10 core profiles. But from 7.0, we want to make it loosely coupled. Still has the dependencies on the Jakarta EE core profile, but we want it loosely coupled. We do not specify which version you have to depend on. It could be 11 or could be 10. So it's a runtime can decide which version they want support. So this is, and also there's some standalone releases. So basically, it's, again, it's kind of the, we'll describe this later, and then there will be new specifications, and also will be rework some other specifications. Let's go in more details. This one is MicroProfile 7 will become 7 specifications instead of 8 specifications. And also is you can see the telemetry will going to be a quite big thing. It has 3 pillars. And also the basically the fault tolerance I mentioned is going to integrate this. And the GWT will have a change because some part of the GWT authentication will be moved away into a new spec called a GWT bridge, which I will discuss later. And then there might be some change in the config as well. We have not evaluated, but work will be done is to see whether we need to release a new version of the MicroProfile config. So that's the kind of MicroProfile 7. Outside this MicroProfile 7, so this will be a standalone releases. We recently discussed our program plan, and we want to do more innovations. So we have GWT bridge. So this one, so demonstrates MicroProfile GWT collaboration. So this one directly is the connect between the Jakarta security and MicroProfile GWT. So basically make the GWT security can benefit from MicroProfile GWT. So that will come with this GWT bridge. So with this bridge, and you can use 2 specifications in a really niche way. So this is this one. The other is innovation we are trying to start, working on is converter spec. So MicroProfile, someone is a MicroProfile developer proposed going to propose the converter spec, and also we want to evaluate the serverless spec. So basically, how can make like Jakarta EE MicroProfile to be working really nicely in as a serverless project or the serverless application. So the other thing I want to mention is the context propagation. Context propagation was created because previously Java EE was slow moving, and also we need to evaluate, need to evolve the Jakarta concurrency. Basically, previously is the Java concurrency. So we had to create some addendum so that this is the context propagation. Now it's Jakarta concurrency is making great progress. So we proposed we're going to move most things from context propagation to Jakarta concurrency. So if it's nothing going to be leave behind in the context propagation, so this is the project will be retired. So this is or if we move a lot of them into the Jakarta concurrency, and this project will become smaller. So this is the context propagation, but definitely not going to invest more to the context propagation project. Spec will evolve, put more effort in the Jakarta concurrency. Again, it demonstrates how these two standards work together. So the other thing is similar to Jakarta tutorial, and this year we are going to create a MicroProfile tutorial, demonstrate the usage of MicroProfile specifications. So this is a really brand new initiative. So it's looking forward to see kind of the proper MicroProfile tutorial written. So this is kind of, if you are interested to participate in the bid for this kind of the MicroProfile tutorial, is basically there's a financial support for this. So prepare, watch out on the mailing list and on MicroProfile, and also from Eclipse Foundation, and the bid will be open soon. So that's pretty much for the MicroProfile.
Yeah, that was a good presentation, Emily. And I have a question for you, and I have lots of questions written down here, but one came to mind when I saw this, and you said in MicroProfile 6 you had 8 specifications.
Yeah.
And in MicroProfile 7 you have 7 specifications.
Yeah.
So in MicroProfile 8 you would have 6 specifications done.
It's not the number does not matter. We have 7 present specifications. However, we offered 9 capabilities because one specification covers 3 pillars. Instead, we have metrics, logging, and tracing. We merged all together into MicroProfile telemetry. So that's why.
Yeah, good to see it's not going away. So you also said that, and this is a little bit more technical question, but you said that in 7 you won't specify the version of core profile that a implementation of MicroProfile will depend on. How will the users of your implementations know which they can use or not, and will it kind of stop or hinder portability between implementations, or how will you kind of make sure that the end users aren't affected too much by this?
Yeah, this is a great question. So basically, in the MicroProfile 7 will be still say, okay, baseline will be Jakarta EE 10 core profile. And then is if Jakarta EE 11 comes out, and some vendors say apart from supporting Jakarta EE 10 core profile together with MicroProfile 7, I also support Jakarta EE 11 core profile with MicroProfile 7. So with that, actually, basically we are trying to work on the compatibility page. On that page, is the vendor have to say very clearly which combination you support. So you have to watch out carefully, on that compatibility. This is one thing. Once you introduce flexibility, also sometimes add complexity. So you just can't really get a win-win. Sometimes it's kind of the, yeah, you have watch out.
Yeah, that's what you always should tell your manager when they want more flexibility. You say, well, it's more complex as well. And
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right. So I also noticed you had some interesting stuff going on in the standalone specifications, like the serverless. Have you started thinking about what this will contain, or
Yeah.
anything about that?
Yeah, good question. So it's in IBM, in Open Liberty, we have been prototyping the serverless kind of the initiative. Also, Quarkus has also serverless kind of programming model. So we will be focused on cloud event. So basically, as the kind of the entry point. And then we evaluate, at the moment, we evaluate the, basically it's still annotation based. And also, I think a lot of the deliverables will be in the spec to see how you do it. And annotation, basically based on our like experiment, is already working. And we need to just like just simplify the steps. Yeah. So that's will coming up. So again, we want to just take on Jakarta EE and MicroProfile on board to the serverless world.
That sounds good. So I have lots of more questions, but if you want to ask someone, then go ahead. While you're thinking about this, what is your 6.1 is the current release of MicroProfile. So what's your favorite feature of new stuff in 6.1?
Or the favorite stuff will be is the telemetry. Telemetry basically we improved a lot, and also we aligned with Open Telemetry, the 1.30 release, and also I think we are on open source initiatives and also communities. We work really closely with the Open Telemetry folks as well, and we say, okay, help them with the metrics. Basically, it's a stable like Open Telemetry metrics, so that we can adopt Open Telemetry metrics. So yeah, so that's on the way to evolve into the next release. So Ivar, so for the Jakarta EE 11, when will be 11 coming up?
Oh yeah, I forgot to put that on the slides. The short question, the answer to that question is come to my session at 2:45, because those slides do have that date. But we expect it to be delivered, we're saying before summer, and that depends which part of the world you're in, sort of. So we're also saying June, July timeframe. And the release cadence we're trying to enforce now in Jakarta EE is to deliver a major version of Jakarta EE 6 to 9 months after the latest Java LTS. So in this we had Java 21 coming out in September. So then it takes us to around June, July for Jakarta 11.
Okay, so that's great. I think we should all prepare for that, really. The other exciting thing is based on Java 21. How many of you are using Java 21 at the moment? Trying out? Yeah? Not in production? Play with it? My question is, it's based on Java 21. If it's just like still use the old Java 11 features, it's nothing exciting. So which spec utilize, for example, the new exciting features? Which one? Virtual thread? Yeah? Virtual thread or record or sealed types? Which one?
Yeah, so the concurrency specification will add some support for virtual threads. And as you know, in the Jakarta EE world, we're kind of handling threads, saying, but don't do it yourself. Let the runtime do it for you. So we have this managed thread executor service and stuff. So they will add some features there to give you the virtual threads, to get a managed virtual thread if you want. I don't think it will be managed in thread pools or anything. It will just be handled behind the scenes by the implementation. But there will be some API changes there, to some flags to enable virtual threads if you want it. I also think for records, definitely the Jakarta validation, which was previously known as Bean validation, is now renamed to Jakarta validation. That one will add support for records. so you can validate records properly. Also, CDI will have some record support, I think, with so you can inject records properly in some way. And yeah, so it's a little bit here and there. I think they're doing some embedded data types in Jakarta persistence as well. So.
Yeah, because I'm like also a CDI committer, so I'm involved in that discussion for the record for CDI. Record, is a kind of final class. It's really tricky to inject the record. However, it's really, you got to be careful. It needs to be, the scope has to be dependent and because of non-proximal kind of the objects. So are there any questions from audience? Because we two are really talkative, and we could stand here and talk for a whole day. Yeah, surely. Oh, hang on, give you the mic.
It's really more a question about whether or not you know what are the most used, heavily used APIs. Do you have that kind of data?
Yeah.
How you develop stuff and what can happen?
Yeah, I repeat the question. What's the most used APIs? Do we have data to demonstrate that?
I don't think we have like the usage data, because that is all the implementation. So you would have to ask like IBM or Oracle and the others to provide that data, and I don't think you will get it. But what we can see is what specifications are kind of getting most tractions by users and what they're most interested in. And I think Jakarta REST is one specification that everybody is using. CDI is like everywhere, but that's kind of the glue stuff. So I'm not sure. But persistence is used everywhere. Servlet, definitely. So all of these specifications are always also used by the Spring framework. So most of the enterprise developers or backend developers are exposed to these APIs. So.
Yeah. Also, it's a survey every year. Eclipse Foundation, Tanya there is doing a Jakarta EE survey, and then some like in the survey questions we ask what's the like spec you use, so we can get some data from there.
Pretty much fits whatever the response from Ivar, right? Like REST, Servlet, and JPA.
Yeah.
And does that correlate then with number of support issues? Number of requests coming in for new, like when you're developing that, do you see that coming into the repositories, people raising issues around those, or they're so stable now, it's no problem?
Yeah. We do see those specifications that are like more popular, if you're going to say that, they get more traction on the GitHub issue trackers. So there are a lot of I want this feature, I want that feature. It's not enough though. So if anybody has that kind of favorite feature that they're missing somewhere, that's the GitHub issue tracker for that particular project, or the mail list is a place to go with that stuff. And usually the project members will respond fairly quickly with either yes or yeah. So but then the discussion can start,
Any more questions?
So this question may be too technical to answer here, but I will ask it anyway. So on Monday, Max present us new NoSQL specification, which is not in Jakarta 11, but the work is going on. And I think this is the same in data. Like he was using annotations like entity, ID, which are the same as in JPA or persistence, but from different namespace. Can you elaborate more? Why is that? And if there will be any work to merge or start using the persistence? Because from a user perspective, I wouldn't like to have this, because if I use in my project persistence, data, and NoSQL specification, then I would have to choose one of three rather than have only one. And for me, personally, it's kind of like they offer the same functionality, they are the same, but then it will provide more confusion to the users. I don't know, maybe it's too specific question, but...
No, it's a very good question, and I think that is some of the discussions that have been going around, NoSQL, and that is probably one of the reasons why it's not in the platform. It's not ready yet. It's issues like that. Should we have these name conflicts, even though there are different namespaces, or is the NoSQL standard too thin for it? Because very quickly you get specific which sort of NoSQL database you use, whether it's a document or graph or whatever. It's not that much you can specify, but having those discussions, that is what we need to have going forward to make NoSQL possible to include and contain the developer experience and make it as easy as possible.
Yeah, one thing I invite you to do, go to the Jakarta NoSQL spec, read the issue. This is a very valid issue. Personally, because we use the IDE basically help to do the import a lot. If it's use the same name, you always have to differentiate. Oh, which one? Sometimes it's really tricky. You get an entity from NoSQL, and then you get an ID from SQL, and then you debug a whole day and what's going on, and you just like with time. So that's why it's when Jakarta data is brought in, and also one annotation was introduced is I can't remember what it's called. Is I think it's produces or something like that. And basically, I said no. This is kind of already clash with some other spec. We don't really want to basically reuse this name. I think that's a really important feedback.
Yeah, we already have two uses of producers, like the CDI producer and the
exactly. So
and the Jakarta REST. Yeah.
That's exactly. So because I fall into trap when I first, working on CDI, and then it kind of produces. Okay, and where's my producer? I put a Jakarta REST produces. So this is not good to reuse the same thing, have the namespace clash. Okay, thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
I have one for you, and this is a tricky one for you.
Okay,
I'll
tricky
be
one.
impressed if you can do it. I'll help you if you can't. But
Yes.
But so MicroProfile is a working group at Eclipse Foundation.
Yeah.
And can you name the members of MicroProfile?
Oh yeah, we have 12 members.
I can read your back of the T-shirt, but it's hard for you.
The back of the T-shirt is not recent, like IBM. Oh, by the way, we prepared this question without telling each other, so we just want to make sure it's kind of so we are not prepared. IBM, Red Hat, Tommy Tribe, and Payara, Fujitsu. Also is iJag, AJAG, Garden State Jag, and also Microsoft, and also two Chinese companies, Asia Infra, Prampton.
Did you mention
Oracle?
Yes.
See?
You got them all. Impressive.
That means I'm the champion. Okay, Ivar, list the participant members, participant members for.
So you picked the difficult one.
Jakarta
So
EE.
yeah, because in Jakarta we have this layering of members. So the participant members is the biggest group, and I don't think I could do that. I didn't cheat with that one either. I cheated with the MicroProfile, but yeah, there are some overlapping of members.
Yeah.
So I think some of these. I think the Primeton is an enterprise member. I think maybe Asia Info is a participant member, but I'm not sure. But they're in both. And we have all the JUGs, or Sujava and iJug are participant members. We have London Java Community and some more.
Yeah, iJug, like IBM, Microsoft, Red Hat, Payara, Tommy Tribe in both.
And we also have the Apache Software Foundation as a guest member in Jakarta.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And also Fujitsu. Yes.
So I think that question should be more to me than to Ivar, because I'm actually representing those people in the steering committee. Yes? So I can name few of them, but not like Omnifish, London Java Community, Element One, and we have a lot of like the Chinese companies there. So definitely there is, like we see in Jakarta EE that there is big potential for Chinese market. Yes, so that may be also like the question: how can we go to them? Like we see from Jakarta EE huge potential, or in Asian market, and how we can use that, or build on that.
Yeah, I can take this question if you don't mind. You can add more. Actually, that's a good question because the reason I want to take that question, I involved in the Jakarta EE China. So this is also the marketing activities. We do like the Jakarta EE Tech Talk. Basically, we cover MicroProfile and Jakarta EE. And also, we did a Jakarta EE live stream, Jakarta One live stream in China as well. We just, I think it's a huge audience together. Now they start basically evaluating Jakarta EE and generate a lot of interest and a lot of questions in the basically social media and etc. But so it has to go through some time period basically, and they evaluate and etc. So hopefully we put more marketing activities in Asia, like in China, especially in China, and basically it's make people more aware this is standard, and they have started thinking about the whole open source and also the standard no vendor lock-in. This is a great, huge demand in that space. So we just need to go there and say, hey, this is how you should do it. Yeah. Do you want to add anything else?
No, I think you covered it very well. So I asked you about your favorite microprofile feature. What is your favorite feature in Jakarta 11? I'm probably stealing one of your questions.
Yeah, that's
but
one of my
but I'm asking you this.
Anyway, I answer first, and you can tell me. Actually, I'm a great fan of the Jakarta data. So basically, if you watch the kind of mailing list for the Jakarta, originally people saying, oh, this is a new thing. We need to get basically warmed up first, and then to see how the market goes. And then I stood up. I said, we really need to put our innovation together to evolve the specification. We just already got implementations. Already got like a Spring Data, yeah, use it, and Hibernate, basically Panache, and also Macronaut data. And then both the Spring data folks and the Macronaut data folks also get involved and help out with the Jakarta data. It's great if we basically evolve a standard so that you only have one data to work with, not like a 3, 4, 5 data for your application. So this is, I'm really excited. And the IBM is one of the, basically we co-lead this specification as well. We put a lot of effort and to do the spec and also the tests. And OpenLiberty already beat Jakarta data. So try it out go to openliberty.io and the blogs and try out how we did it. So what about you? What's your exciting?
Yeah, this is going to be boring because my favorite feature is also Jakarta data, and I'm super happy we were able to add this to the Jakarta 11.
Yeah, it's great. So it's so Ivar, I know it's kind of the Jakarta EE you showed. There's so many specifications, just over 30 specifications. What's the challenge for releasing Jakarta EE 11? It's a lot of moving parts, So which one to release first? What's the knock-on effect?
Yes. As you said, it's 30-something specifications, and most of them are updated in every release, and some of them have dependencies on each other. So we need to figure out which specification can be released in which order, so we can get everything together. So we created this wave system, so we have 7 waves of specifications that can be released in kind of. So we do handle it. It's complicated, but it's getting easier for each release because we kind of untangle these dependencies and maybe one release in the future we will be able to just release everything independently.
Yeah, great. I think we only have a question, one final question. So what kind of help do you wish to get from all of the amazing audience here? What kind of help?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. It depends on kind of where you are. If you're in using the technology, you need to tell us what you're missing and what you want more of. So just so we know that we do what you want. And even better, that you actually come to us and do it for us. So we can do other things. You know, we can be here on stage and talking and chatting about things, and we can get the specification made in the background.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for coming here, and we would love you to get involved in Jakarta EE and MicroProfile. Log on to jakarta.ee or microprofile.io. So at first, let's just have a look at the specification to find which spec you want to contribute. Just go and help out. Thank you for coming. Maybe we should